Hi everyone, please join me in this brief sharing session on SPM 1119/2 writing paper. Here we'll get a close look at segment 3 part of the paper. Before we proceed any further, let me introduce myself. I am GUNARAJ RAMALINGAM. I have been a teacher in SMK SUNGAI RANGGAM, Kota Sutia. I've been a teacher since 2010 and I have extended experience in SPM marking because I have been an examiner since 2014. Now, let us have a brief look at part 3 writing. In this segment, you will have 3 options in which you have to choose one question and answer that question. You have to strictly follow the word limit provided. Minimum 200 words, maximum 250 words. Remember, minimum 200 words, maximum 250 words. Next, you will get 20 marks for this question. And there will be targeted audience as a part of your question. It means your tone and style has to be suitable for the targeted audience. So let me repeat the key points: 20 marks and your word limit. One of the options will be an article. Here, I've provided you a sample of an article. If you can see, you need a heading or title followed by byline. Byline is where we write your name as the author of the article. This is followed by introduction paragraph and then few other paragraphs which forms the main points or main body. In this main body, you will include your supporting details. It is important to arrange your supporting details in a logical order. And finally, there will be a concluding paragraph. In this conclusion, usually we'll sum up our article and we can also give our input there. Why people write articles? Articles are written to give information, to state opinion, or to make suggestion. When we write our article, we can use formal language, semi-formal language, or informal language, depending on the question and depending on the targeted audience. However, you are advised to avoid contractions like I will and you are, because these are deemed to be not suitable. Now, let's look at title. Your title is basically the first thing an examiner will read. So it is important to make sure your title is catchy to get their attention. Next, we have introduction. Introduction is where we give a general overview of the question. Remember, you should keep it interesting. Then we have main parts of the essay. This is the main body of the essay where most of your words will be put in. You have to present your ideas and then you're encouraged to use topic sentence to introduce the idea. These topic sentences need details, supporting details. So please make sure you include some supporting details with the main topic sentence. Finally, as for the conclusion, this is where we summarize the points we have discussed in the main part. You are encouraged to give a general comment or your overall opinion regarding the question. These are some useful phrases which you can include as part of your article. First, we have rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions can be good for you to include in your introduction part. This will make the readers to become involved with your article. Okay, so these are some of the example phrases that you can use. Next, an article will be better if it involves a good writer and reader relationship. You can bring your reader into your article by using phrases like this. I'm sure you will share my opinion on this. So the readers will get more involved. Your main body could include phrases like this. And finally, stating personal opinion. These phrases are very useful as part of your conclusion. Remember, you don't have to copy this 100% into your article, and you must know how and when to use the phrases. Always adapt whatever phrases given. Okay, on this page, I have a sample question for you to have a look at. You see a notice board, you see a notice on the board outside the prefect's room. Send us your articles. Handling cyberbullies. So your topic here should be something regarding cyberbullies. What is cyberbullying? How can students protect themselves from cyberbullies? What can parents do to support their children? These 3 bullet points are your content points. You have to make sure that you answer all 3 content points here. Write an article answering these questions. The best article will win a mystery prize. You can disregard this part. These are just creating a situation for you. So remember, cyberbullies, and make sure you answer all 3 bullet points. Next, we'll look at review writing. A review is actually an evaluation of something. It could be a book, it could be a movie, or it could even be a product. I believe you have or you can come across a lot of review as part of online shopping. Remember, as part of review writing, you are also required to offer your own personal opinion on the question. Here, I have a general outline of a review. This is suitable for book or movie review. In the introduction paragraph, you can talk about background of the book or the movie. When we talk about background, there are some information that you can include, like setting, type of the story, and main character. In the main body, where you can have up to 3 paragraphs, you can include main points of the plot, as well as general comments about the story. And finally, on paragraph 4, your own opinion comes into play. Will you recommend this book, or will you recommend this movie to someone else to watch or read? Remember, a good review should always consist the following. In the introduction, you have to give all the background information of the story. Setting, type of plot, or story, characters, and etc. In the main body, okay, you'll have 2 or more paragraphs which all the main points of the plots are presented in time sequences, as well as comments on action, plot, character development, directing, and others. As you can see, there are a lot of things to put in the main body. So make sure you choose what you are familiar with and what you strongly feel about. And in conclusion, we can always write about your recommendation, whether you will suggest this place, this book, this story to someone else. Now, you can see a product review. This review was actually taken from your Form 5 textbook. If you can see and read clearly, you can notice the language used as part of your review is actually direct and simple. And there are a lot of personal words used as part of the review. You can also see how people share their own feelings in the review about the product. Moving on, this is a book review. The title of the book is The Martian. I find this particular review quite interesting because of the approach. This author has an interesting ending, conclusion to his review. If you can read, you do not have to be a science fiction fan to enjoy this novel. However, if you expect there to be bug-eyed green creatures roaming Mars, this book is not for you. So the conclusion here, the author has actually left it to the readers to decide for themselves whether they want the book or not. However, if they have certain preferences, they can read this book. So this conclusion is very interesting. Moving on, my personal favorite, which is narrative writing or stories. Everyone likes to read a good story, including me. As an SPM examiner, I always look forward to people who write stories. However, this is my personal opinion. Remember, to write a good story, you need a good plot or storyline. Can you prepare this plot or storyline ahead? Yes, you can. However, you have to make sure that your plot or storyline is suitable to the question. It fits the question. Next, we have to look at perspective. What kind of perspective are you going to use in your story? Is it first-person point of view, where you use words like I, something that you experience yourself? Or will it be third-person point of view, where you write the story from the perspective of another person? No matter what, remember to always write important and round main characters as well as minor characters. You can always include people, animals as part of your minor characters. Also remember to provide a setting where the narrative takes place. Be imaginative with your setting. Create a drama, tension, or climax in the story. Remember, a good story will have a good climax. And my last reminder, stick to your word limit. When you write stories, you tend to go overboard. So remember, you have 250 words only to start and finish your story. When it comes to language and tone of a story, I will suggest you to use past tense. However, if you are familiar and confident with other tenses, you are more than welcome to do that, to use them, sorry. You can also include direct speech or dialogue as part of your story. These will make your story interesting and easy to read. Again, be descriptive and use vivid vocabulary. Use a variety of sentences. Always remember, short sentences help to create suspense. So, a variation of sentences will create different effects in your essay. You must also know how to manage your paragraphs. All the paragraphs have to be equal number of words and sizes. And finally, use standard English. My students always complain, how do they start their, what we call story? Here, I'll share 5 different ways we can start your story. First, you can begin with an action or dialogue. Look at the example here. This is actually a story about a sports day. Look how he started with an action. I crouched in starting position, hands poised on the track and back coiled like a spring. On your mark, get set. The starting gun boomed. I launched myself forward, trying to spring ahead of the pack. So this could be a story about sports day or a tournament. Next, you can ask a question. This is another good way to start your story. Why does trouble always follow me around? So as part of your answering the question, you can start to write your story. Next, you can also describe the setting. Maybe this is a place where your story takes place. So you describe. Fourth option is to begin with background information. You can provide some interesting details or information regarding your story in your first paragraph. And finally, one of the easiest and direct ways to have the main character introduce himself or herself. So this particular strategy will use first person point of view. I'm Tabitha, I just turned 13, and I'm here to tell you a secret. So these are 5 different approaches which you can use to start your essay. Always practice using 5 different methods here to start your particular story. Why? So that you can familiarize yourself with different types of beginning. Next, how do I become a person who can elaborate better, describe better? First, describe in details, be it a place, a person, or anything. Use more words, use more adjectives. This will help people to picture your idea better. Number 2, use specific words because it helps to create a better image. For example, the word walk. You can use many other words to replace the word walk. For example, I walk to school. You can always change it to I jog to school. I drag my feet to school. So the use of specific words changes the meaning of the sentence. Next, show how something feels, tastes, smells, sounds, and looks. Okay, so you are describing more here. Next, you can also use exact thoughts and words from a person. This will make your story real and more believable. And finally, you can always show someone's feelings through actions. Remember, show, don't just tell. If a character is happy, you can use actions to describe his happiness. What will a person do when the person is happy? Maybe he'll be dancing, he'll jump in joy, he'll be smiling. So all these actions show the same emotion, happiness. So you can describe that using actions. These 5 steps will help you to elaborate better. We have come to the end of my video. Remember, all good writing is swimming underwater and holding your breath. Means some of the good pieces of writing comes under stress or pressure. I know exam can be a very stressful experience for all of you, but believe in yourself and remember, you can always do better. With that, I end my video. Thank you.